story's title is Maryam's Magic, the story of mathematician Maryam Mirzakhani by Megan Reid. Illustrations by Alia Jalil. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Maryam Mirzakhani was a storyteller. Every night before she went to bed, she would tell her sister tales of fierce adventurers, brave tricksters and wizards with powers beyond compare. No matter what kind of trouble they got into, they used their wits to find a solution. Every day after school, she and her best friend Roya would roam the swoops and curves of a city's busy streets. Their favorite block was crowded with bookstores, and they spent long afternoons dreaming themselves into the plots of their favorite stories. And every weekend, she spread long rolls of paper on her bedroom floor, then crouched in a ball to scribble and color the worlds she imagined. They were intricate and beautiful, each detail designed to make her favorite scenes shine. Together, her art and stories made magic. Maryam wanted to be a famous writer when she grew up. She loved her reading and art classes. During the war that tore her home country of Iran apart, girls and women hadn't been allowed to attend school with boys, or sometimes even at all. But after the war was over, politicians started new schools to allow girls' talents to grow. They were part of a lucky generation, Maryam's mother told her. But when it came time for math each day, Maryam felt the opposite of lucky. Maryam was a storyteller. She was not a mathematician. The numbers made her head spin. How could she care about something so pointless and cold? She would rather doodle and dream. When Maryam was 12, her teacher announced that they would be learning geometry, a new kind of math. Maryam sighed. But geometry was different from any math she had known before. Every number held a story. It made those numbers into shapes and those shapes into pictures. 1 degree of difference could make a triangle acute or right. Removing a Y shape from the end of the line showed that it was a segment, not a ray. Maryam dreamt of magical shapes. They looked like bulging light bulbs and endless figure eights, and layers of donuts. She made up fantastic tales about them. How many lines would it take to draw them? What kinds of patterns could cover them? If there were 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000,000 shapes like them, how could you tell the same stories about them all? Maryam came to love these number stories like she loved the characters from her favorite books. In high school, Maryam and Roya both entered the International Mathematical Olympiad, a competition for young mathematicians. They were the first girls to make the Iranian team. That first year, they each brought home a medal for their efforts. But it wasn't a grand prize. Maryam and Roya wanted to be heroines, the first girls to win first place for Iran. Together, they trained long hours to prepare for the next year's competition in Toronto, Canada. When the judges announced the grand prize, Roya and the team cheered loudly. Maryam had gotten a perfect score. Maryam was even more certain now that she wanted to devote her life to the stories numbers told. After college, she left Iran for graduate school at Harvard University in the United States. She and her professors would talk about new formulas and theories in English for hours while she scribbled notes in Farsi, her native language. When it was hard to solve a difficult equation, Maryam covered her house's floor with big sheets of paper and knelt to trace them with loops and lines, just as she had when she was young. By now, Maryam was married with a child of her own. She drew so much that sometimes her daughter Anahita would tell people proudly that her mommy was a painter. As she got older, Maryam's geometry stories and pictures became more complex. She wanted to stretch the limits of what humans understood about the idea of infinity, equations that went on and on without end. She crafted mathematical formulas as if she was plotting the twists and turns of a suspenseful novel. It's not only their question, but the way you try to solve it. she would tell her students. Maryam began to write papers about her findings. Other thinkers would gather from far and wide to hear her speak. For one tough problem, she imagined a twisty mirrored room where a thief was hiding. With the help of her pictures, math told her where a security guard would have to stand to protect valuable treasures. People even called one of her discoveries the magic wand theorem because it worked like magic to solve many problems that scientists had been puzzling over for more than 100 years. She explained it using the image of a pool table with balls that zigged and zagged forever. If you covered the balls in paint, how long would it take for their scattered parts to color the table completely? Maryam's magic wand math helped people all over the world. Astronauts could plot safer courses for their rocket ships. Meteorologists could predict weather patterns with more speed and accuracy. Doctors could understand how dangerous diseases grew and spread. And in 2014, Maryam received an email from the International Mathematical Union telling her that she had won the Fields Medal, the most important award in math, for her magic wand. She was the first woman and the first Iranian to ever receive the prize. Maryam was proud but not boastful. She just wanted to help others discover the amazing worlds math helped her see. She couldn't believe that, as a child, she very nearly gave up on it. Now, even more people knew about her talent, but she had a secret that only her closest friends and family knew. Optimistic, curious Maryam was sick with breast cancer. For 3 years, she continued storytelling as the cancer spread to her liver, her bones. When she died in 2017, her home country of Iran mourned, and her picture was on the front page of newspapers around the world. She represented bravery and courage, even though she was often the only woman in a classroom, the youngest to lead a research project, the smallest to speak in front of hundreds on a stage. She never let that stop her from sharing the extraordinary stories that numbers told. At Maryam's memorial, Roya, a math professor, herself spoke about her best friend. She told the story of a bright girl hungry for knowledge, who also had a kind heart and a beautiful mind. She reminded the crowd that before Maryam was a mathematician, she was a storyteller. But magically, she was always meant to be both. The end.
Thanks for watching. For more exciting read aloud stories, please subscribe to our channel Little Hearts Super Kids. Also follow us on Instagram for amazing updates.